Welcome back. My name is Silas. This is part 2 of your 6-part series to build strength through the yoga practice. In today's class, we're going to work on our lower body strength, what is all legs and hips. All these classes are designed to do without any props. If you have one block, I'm going to cue the block to use to make things easier or harder for yourself throughout the practice. All right, let's get started. We're going to come into a 90-90 setup, also known as D pose, bringing the right shin parallel to the front of your mat, 90-degree bend in the front leg, and then 90-degree bend in the left leg, having the left shin parallel to the left outer side of your mat. If you have a block handy, you can use the block underneath your right hand, just so you can bring your chest and your shoulders just in the center of your hips, and then just sitting up tall here. Just letting the knees be heavy, just being in the shape for a second. Keeping yourself upright through the chest. And then we keep the upper body just as it is. Keep the left heel on the ground, and the only thing that is going to move is the left knee. So as you keep the chest stable, begin to press into the left heel, lift the left knee off the ground, and then lower back down. A couple more times, lifting the left knee up, and then lowering back down. See if you can keep the upper body still. And down. 2 more times, lifting it up, and down. Last time. And down, then reach your arms out wide. The T shape, and then begin to lean forward, pressing the right shin into the floor as you just hover over the front leg. You can still have the hands on the ground just to support yourself. And then both hands come down, fold over the right shin. Take a couple breaths here. So these strength classes are designed not for you to build up muscle, but to be stronger with the body that you already have and be able to do more with your body, almost like waking your strength up, not necessarily building more. And then slowly coming back up, bringing the chest just on top of your hips. And then this time keeping the left knee on the ground. You can keep the left fingertips on the ground for support. See if you can stay upright and then only lift the left ankle off. And then lower back down. Lifting the left ankle off and then lowering back down. See if you can keep the chest parallel and lower. Lift and lower, waking up and training all these little muscles around your hips 2 more times, lifting it up and lower back down 1 more time, lift up and down, and then reach the arms out wide once again. This time reach the arms up towards the ceiling, then grab the right forearm with the left hand, begin to lean over towards your left. And then come back towards center, arms reach out wide, fold halfway forward. And then fold. I'm just spending another second down here. So we're not just working on the big muscle groups, we're also working on all the small ones, the little muscles that we tend to forget, but that are really important, that they're strong, so they support us in our mobility and flexibility. And then slowly come back up. From here, we're just going to flip both legs around towards the front, coming into this bear sit. Heels are just off your mat, hands behind you. Flex the toes back towards your knees. And then keep both sitting bones on the ground. Just let the right knee fall into its center. And then let the left knee fall into its center. Changing 1 more time. Not necessarily forcing it in, just noticing the range of motion. And bring it back in. And then we're going to set up for the second side. Left shin parallel to the front of your mat, 90 degrees in both knees. Right shin parallel to the right outer side. You can use the block once more to keep the chest upright and right on top of your hips. And then sitting up tall. And just for a moment, just noticing how it feels if you press both knees down into the ground. Keeping upright through the upper body. And then keeping the right heel pressing down into the floor, and only float the right knee off the floor. And then lower it back down. Do that 5 times. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. Inhale, lift. And lower. Inhale, lift. And lower. 2 more times. And then bring it back down. Arms reach out wide. Lean halfway forward. And then fold all the way. Both hands down, or just folding down any amount that you can. Continue to follow your breath when you're in these poses where I'm not talking much. And then slowly bring yourself back up. Left hand can go back onto the block. Sit up tall through the spine. And then this time keeping the right knee on the ground. The only thing that's lifting up is the right ankle. And then lower it back down. Flexing the toes, flexing the right ankle makes it a little bit easier. And then lower it back down. Do that 3 more times, lifting it up and lower. Lifting it up. Don't take me as a reference. See how high you can lift it. I'm teaching you this because I'm terrible at it. I want you to have a piece of it. Lifting it up 1 more time. And then lower back down. Good stuff. Arms reach up over your head. Then grip the left forearm with the right hand and lean over towards the right. Keeping the chest square towards the front. And then arms go out wide as you lean halfway forward. And one last time, fold over the left shin. Spending 10 seconds down here. And then bring yourself back up. Swing yourself around. And coming back to the base sit, heels to the outer edges of your mat, flexing the toes back, and then just twice, letting the right knee fall in, keeping both sitting bones grounded. Left knee falls in. Right knee. Left knee. Both knees at the same time. And then straighten your legs as you come into a straddle forward fold, into just a straddle setup with your legs. Not a forward fold just yet. Just going to turn around so you can see me. If you have very tight hips and you have a block, take the block behind you and then elevate your bum onto the block. And that will help you to tilt your pelvis forward, and you can potentially sit upright a little bit more. And then we're going to bring the hands just in front, just sitting up tall through the spine. Flexing the toes back. And then walking the hands around towards the left leg, framing the left leg with both hands. You can lean slightly over the leg as you press into the fingertips. See if you can float the left heel off the floor. And then lower it back down. Let's do that 2 more times. Lifting it up and lower. 1 more time, lift up and lower, then walk the hands around the front over towards the right. Frame the right leg with your hands, slight lean over the right leg, press into the fingertips, float the right heel off and lower, lift and lower. Let's do that 1 more time, lift up and then lower, walk the hands back towards center. So you can stay with this. If you have a block, you can use a block either on the lowest or middle setting, just on the inside of your left foot. And then framing the leg once again with your fingertips. If you don't have a block, just imagine there's a block right on the inside of your left ankle. Pressing into the fingertips, then floating the left heel off, lifting it over the block and placing it down in front. Okay, we do that 3 times as well, lifting the leg up, placing it back. That is 1 round. So 2 more. One last time. And then we're going to change, taking the block over inside the right ankle. Hands frame the knee or frame the right leg, and press down to lift the heel up over the block and back down. And then completing the round. Let's do 2 more on your own, lifting it up over the obstacle and then back down. If there's no block, you can just continue to play with it. You don't have to lift as high. If you feel extra spicy, you can also have it 1 setting higher. And then 1 last time. Good stuff. All right, bring the soles of the feet together, come into a butterfly and knees out wide, and then simply let yourself fold forward, just any amount. And then from here, shift back onto your bum, cross your ankles, and then roll over your feet, making your way into an all-fourth position, letting the knees come underneath your hips, hands come underneath the shoulders. We do a couple cat and cows. Let the belly drop on the inhale, heart draws forward as you look up. Exhale, draw the belly button in as you dome it back. And continue with this. Inhale to pull the heart forward, tailbone lifts up. Exhale to tuck the tailbone under, doming through the back. Couple more times. And then come back to neutral, slide your toes under, press into the palms and just lift the knees off to hover off the ground just for 1 inch. Take 1 more breath in. Exhale, downward facing dog as you float the hips up, straighten your legs, and then pedal out the feet, pressing 1 heel down at a time. And then turn the walking out of the feet into a walking forward as you slowly begin the process of walking your feet in between your hands. Once you arrive, take a halfway lift. You can use the block to lengthen through the spine. Exhale to fold. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, lengthen, thighs move back in space. Exhale, fold. 2 more times. And then the last one, begin to slowly roll up through the spine, all the way up to stand. Inhale, reach your arms over your head. And then exhale, hands recenter at the heart. And step the big toes together to touch. On the inhale, Utkatasana, bend into your knees, arms reach up towards the ceiling. Keep drawing the belly button in, remembering that core engagement that we learned in the first class of this series, the lifting up of the frontal hip bones, drawing in of the belly button. And you either stay here or begin to shift forward, lift your heels up, coming to your tippy toes. Sit the bum a little bit lower. Take 1 more breath in. And bring the heels back down towards the floor. Stay in your chair. Exhale, straighten your legs, fold over both legs. Let's move in between these two a couple of times. Bring the fingertips onto the ground or block. And on the inhale, bend your knees, come back into the chair and pull the heart forward, keeping the chest parallel towards the floor. You can reach the arms towards the front of the room as well. Take 1 more breath in. Exhale to fold. So a couple of times. Bend into the knees, arms reach forward, chest stays parallel, maybe let it hover just off your thighs. And then straighten the legs. 2 more times. One last time, bending into the knees, arms reach forward. Exhale to fold. And take an inhale, lengthen halfway, heart pulls forward, shoulders draw back. Exhale, hands ground down, step the left foot back and come into low lunge. Left knee lowers down towards the ground, keeping the right knee over the right ankle, and then keeping the back toes tucked under. Bringing your hands to your hips as you come up into your low lunge. And then once again, just as a little reminder from the first class, feeling those 2 headlights on your hips, so the 2 frontal hip bones, and then feel them pulling up towards your ribs At the same time, draw the belly button in, keep the core engaged, and then begin to reach your arms up. Keep drawing the belly button in, reach for the fingertips. Now if you haven't already, tuck the left toes under, then press into both feet and begin to hover the left knee off the ground just an inch. Just an inch. And then lower it back down. 2 more times. Press into the feet, lift up to hover, and lower. Lift up to hover, and lower. Lift up to hover, then this time we hold, and then take little pulses. Little pulses with the knee, just for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Straighten the right leg, lift all the way up. Exhale, hands towards your hips. Left heel spins down as you come into wide straddle towards the left side of your mat. Both big toes pointing towards the left side of your mat. And take a breath in. Exhale, fold over your legs. Hands can come down to the ground. You can hold on to your ankles, keeping the thighs active. Kneecaps lift away from the floor. Then bring both fingertips down towards the ground. Lift the chest halfway up. And then begin to bring your heels in. So the big toes are pointing outwards and the heels are closer towards one another. As you slowly begin to bend into your knees, bring the hands towards your chest. We're coming into goddess pose. Knees are wide, hips are low. And you can either just stay here. You can also reach your arms forward to help you balance and sit the bum down a little bit lower, imagining you're sitting against the wall behind you. And then we're going to do little pulses just with the hips, going for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.5, 1, and done. Straighten both legs. Then heels go out wide once again, toes are pointing in, fold forward once more. Hands can go back down towards the floor. And then take a halfway lift. On the exhale, bend into the left knee, straightening the right leg. You're coming to Skandasana. Now keep the hips low as you're moving towards the front of the mat. If you have a block, you can grab the block to bring your hands on. Otherwise, you can also just stay on fingertips. As you shift forward, bring the left leg off the floor, just balancing on the right leg. Fingertips stay on the ground. Now begin to slowly bend into the right leg, bringing the left knee into a Shiva squat, just touching outside the right calf. And then straightening both legs again. Left leg goes towards the back. Let's do that for 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. Left leg extends behind you. Then bring the left leg back down. Heel toe the feet out wide. And then begin to lower your booty down as you come into a squat. And you don't have to go all the way down. You're just squatting down as far as you can go without lifting your heels off the floor. And then very smooth motion, straighten your legs. Arms reach up towards the ceiling. Exhale, hands pull towards the heart as you squat back down. And you decide how low you want to go. And then as smooth as you can, straighten the legs, arms reach up. Exhale to squat down. Let's do that a couple more times. Inhale to straighten the legs. Exhale to smoothly come down. One last time, inhale to straighten. And this time on the exhale, fold straight forward, both legs stay straight. Inhale, lengthen halfway. On the exhale, hands ground down, step the right foot back, and then come into your low lunge once more. Right heel lowers down. Then this time, reach the arms straight up. See if you can remember the engagement of the core. Left knee over the left ankle, back toes tucked under. And press into both feet, especially into the front foot, and hover the right knee off the ground just an inch. And lower it back down. Lift it up just an inch, and back down. Lift it up, and smoothly lower it down. Then this time lift it up, hover it, and begin to pulsate with the left leg. Go for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Straighten both legs. Hands come towards your hips. Turn towards the right side of your mat. Wide-legged forward fold as you fold over your legs. Once again, hands can go on the ground or grabbing onto ankles. And let the fingertips come onto the ground. Lift the chest halfway up. Then turn your heels in, lower your bum down, come back to your goddess pose as you pull the hands towards your heart. Arms reaching forward helps you to sit deeper. And then join me to just pulsate the hips up and down. Go for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.5, 1. And straighten both legs, and heels go out wide as you fold down once more. Keep the legs active. And then come into fingertips, lift halfway up. Exhale, Skandasana towards the back of the mat, bending into the right leg. And keeping the hips low as you come forward. Either fingertips or block as you lift the right foot off. Coming into this warrior 3 prep. And then we go for 5, bending into the left knee, tapping the right knee outside the left calf, and then straightening both legs again. Going for another 4, 3, 2, last one. And straighten both legs. Then right foot comes down, heel toe the feet out wide. Come down into a squat. Arms can reach forward. And then we're just going to go for 5. You do them at your own speed. And see if you can do them smooth. Let me inhale, straighten the legs. Exhale to squat down. If you want to use the arms like we did it on the first round, you can work with the breath, reaching the arms over your head on your inhale. Otherwise, I have you rather prefer to focus on the smoothness of your squat. Let's say we just go for another 20 seconds here. Just another 10 seconds. See how low you can go without sacrificing any of the smoothness. And the next time you squat down, lower your bum all the way down towards the floor. And then bringing the hands behind you, feet are parallel towards one another. Fingertips pointing towards your bum, press into feet and hands. Inhale, lift the hips up. Gentle rocks back and forth. And then slowly lower the hips back down. Inhale, reach your arms towards the front of the room. And then on the exhale, slowly roll down onto your backside. Once the spine comes all the way down, bring the feet behind your bum, knees are bent. And then press into the feet, lift the hips off the floor, coming into your bridge pose. We're going to stay in the bridge pose for a little bit. Keep utilizing your legs to lift the hips up high. If you like, you can join the hands underneath you, interlacing the fingers. Keep following your breath. Keep a good connection with both feet on the ground. Continue to press down into the floor with your feet to lift the hips up high. Take one more breath in. And then on the exhale, slowly roll down the spine. And then bringing the right knee into the chest, hugging the knee in with both hands as you slowly extend the left leg down the mat away from you. And then flex the left toes back towards your hips as you push the left heel further down. At the same time, hug the right knee in tight, stretching out the front of the left hip. Now continue to hold onto the right knee with your left hand and extend the right arm out towards the side. On the exhale, pull the right knee across towards the left as you come into your supine twist. Just for a couple of rounds of breath. And the next inhale, come back towards center. Just going to swap sides, hugging the left knee into the chest and extending the right leg down the mat. Flexing the right toes back and pushing the right heel further away from you down the mat, hugging the left knee in. And then continue to hold onto the left knee with the right hand as you extend the left arm out towards the side. And then pull the left knee across towards the right as you come into your supine twist. Keeping the left shoulder heavy. Next inhale, come back towards center. Hug both knees into the chest, give yourself a big squeeze. And if you'd like to take a happy baby pose, you can reach your hands through the inside of your thighs, holding onto the outside of the feet. Coming into your happy baby pose. If the tailbone lifts off the floor, maybe you're just better off just holding onto the left knee with the left hand, holding onto the right knee with the right hand, and then taking this Malasana squat position on your back, pulling your knees towards your armpits. In either position, gently rock side to side. And then begin to bring the knees back together as you extend them down the mat away from you, finding your Savasana. Arms down by your side, legs heavy. If it's available to you, begin to close down through your eyes. Begin to surrender the entirety of your physical body by relaxing your face, back of your head, neck and throat, shoulders and arms, chest, ribs, abdomen, hips, legs, hands and feet. Letting yourself melt into the floor like a piece of clay, becoming part of the ground underneath you. Surrendering your breath, just beginning to listen and to notice the vibrations of the practice. Savasana. we're going to finish the practice in Savasana. If you have an extra minute or two, gift yourself with a little bit more stillness. Time to observe, to rest. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here to practice, and I hope to see you soon. Namaste.